Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try to run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Welcome to the Afridamus Report, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, wherever you are, or good afternoon, I'm not quite sure. But today, we have a very important topic to touch on here. Because as you know, many people have been running around. They've been talking about, oh, we must unite. We must unite. But now, what is unity based on? I want to welcome all of you to the show. KS, Slayer Jam, Respect the Motherland, St. James, Beyonce, and whoever I didn't mention. Thank you for joining me today. It is very important for us to speak about things that matter to our lives, things that are very important. Because believe it or not, the skin color blackness doesn't mean anything. Not all black people are created equal. Not all black people have the same spirit, the same ideology, the same way of thinking, the same religion, or our approach to life. And this doesn't only play out in Africa, but it plays out right here in the United States of America as well. A place that is divided by color lines based on the outer appearance, where they want to force people to think a certain way. If you look like somebody, therefore you all have to think alike. See, when you come from Africa, the way we're raised, you don't call yourself an African. You refer to yourself as the place where you come from. But see, in the United States, I think they do it deliberately. In the Western world, they do it deliberately, where they just group everyone together. So therefore, you cannot nitpick to see who is who. But there are certain African groups. There are some countries, people are known for certain things, okay? And you go to other places, the people are known for other things. This is no shot at anyone. But you guys know, here at the Afridamus Report, the things I talk about is about what is fair and balanced. I have absolutely no reason to just say things out of fun, to say things just to pick on somebody or a group of people. No. I observe a pattern. I observe things and I talk about what I see. But that doesn't mean, because you have to speak in generality. You have to speak broadly. That's why we call it a broadcast. I'm doing a broadcast here. If it doesn't apply to you, let it fly. But if it applies to you, maybe you can make adjustments, because people sometimes can delude themselves into believing that whatever their character is or what they are doing, other people aren't aware of it. Because people raise themselves, to this higher moral ground so that they feel good about whatever messed up thing they are doing. It is not a secret to anyone that is watching me here to know that Nigerians generally are known for 419. They are known for scamming. But now, that doesn't mean this is every single Nigerian, but it is more prevalent amongst them. But that's not the only thing they are known for. There are other things they are known for. There are some who are basketball players, some who are football players, some who are good entertainers. The list goes on and on and on. Of course, it makes sense for that to happen. 200 million people plus. But with that 200 million people plus, there's bound to for them to create bad elements. Bad elements. And these bad elements, they show their faces every single time. In fact, just last week, a Nigerian was on the telephone trying to steal my identity. You know how some of you probably got those phone calls where they would call you, you know straight. They're like pretending, oh, we scheduled you for a Zoom call. You're like, wait a minute, what is going on here? They are asking you, trying to get your identity. And for some of you, especially many Gambians, this has happened to, where you deal with these people online. You're thinking you're talking to a female when it's a Nigerian person sitting all the way in Nigeria. They blackmail you. Because since some people, they lack self-control, they put you on those webcams, you get naked for them, they collect it and they distribute it to your friends list to try to extort you. This happens. So we are not going to sit here just because we come to the Western world. All of a sudden, it's a group of people telling us, you are all black. But we know that is not the truth. We know there is different kinds of black, different types of culture. But this didn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. It goes further than this. Those faces you've seen, if many of you have been following them, if you have been listening to them, you would see that they've been nothing but panderers ever since this pan-Africanism movement have taken root. They understand, many Black Americans especially, they are passionate about this. But their understanding of nationality and skin color is hard for them to separate it because of they have been socialized in this situation. So therefore, you know there's going to always be wolves lurking in the back to take advantage of it. And we've been seeing the group of people that's been doing this, all in the name of what? Blackness, pan-Africanism. The pictures that you saw in front of you, a guy named Franklin, it's another YouTuber, a Nigerian YouTuber living in the UK. You have Ike Ojiami. He lives in the United States. To Niger. It's an avatar. None of us know what he looks like. And many, many more that I cannot name here today. I already know there are some who are going to be upset by this. But the facts are facts. We have to talk about the reality. Just because somebody created an identity to say all of you have to go by this doesn't make it the reality. It is up to you what you want it to be. I have read newspapers where you see here in the States, they would say, oh, Nigerians are the most achieved immigrants. But you got to ask yourself, especially a Black American, why are they writing that? Who is writing this? Go look at the background of the news agency that is writing this? Why do you think they singled out just that one group of people that are coming from that country and put them up and say, hey, look at these people. They are doing so well. What are you doing? But you see, that creates a confusion in the heads of Black Americans because they have been socialized to not see Africa as a continent, but as one group of people. As one group of people. If you look around, even I've told this story over and over here, even when I lived in Africa growing up. It is mostly Nigerians. I haven't seen any other group of people that used to do this. If you guys see it, let me know. But in my country of Gambia, when I was there, it is Nigerians who tend to come there and pretend to be American, Black American. They will tell you, oh, they are Black American. And you come to the United States, you will see the same thing. I have seen it over and over. So I'm not surprised that they would put that up and say, oh, look at these model citizens. In fact, since like this guy, Franklin, he talks about Nigerian problems, but he translated to confuse Black people and say, oh, it's Black. If you see his picture, he posted, he said, Black excellence. I went on this guy's platform because he says Black, right? My skin is Black. He said he's about Black people. So I wanted to go there and have a conversation because I find it ironic and crazy that someone would leave Africa, go to the UK or America, and then start preaching online, preaching to us how they are bothered by white supremacy, quote unquote. I can understand a Black American talking like that. But you voluntarily moved to these countries. You had the dream to do this. And if you truly believe that, you can move back to wherever you come from. But no, when I came on the platform, I asked him, simple question. Are white people superior to you? Do you feel that white people are superior to you? He said, oh, no, they are not superior to me. I said, then why are you saying it? Oh, I'm just saying it for the other Africans because they feel that way. I said, wait a minute. So you're telling me you are way more intelligent. You are way more intelligent than the rest of the Africans. You are able to see that the white people are superior to them, but they are not superior to you. Then why don't you tell them how not to feel that way or see things that way? But as you guys know, he quickly dropped me. Many people were upset because they wanted to hear what I had to say. Because to me, it looked like a hustle. He found out a way to see Black British, Caribbean, Black Americans. They love hearing about these things. They love hearing someone perpetrate this white supremacy talk. So therefore, they learn the market. And they come and start pushing it down their throat. The information they are giving out, you can see, is clearly false. They would speak against God, religion. They want to promote the voodoo priest religion and then eventually tell people about lands. No, I'm not saying this is what Ike is doing. I'm just speaking of Franklin right now. He would take shots at other Nigerians who are successful, who worked hard and become what they want to become. He would take shots at them, try to shame them, saying they should do this and that and that. You're in the UK, you could do the same thing. But the bottom line is, they would always put down Africans and pander to Black Americans. We move on to Niger, who many of you know. The last time I saw him on a panel, I don't think many people even paid attention to what I was paying attention to. A Black American was on the panel, and he was upset because he was having discussion with Africans. As you guys know, these discussions, they usually go left. But this Black American individual still usually would go to these African panels. He gets upset, but he still comes there. So it tells me he has interest, genuine interest in knowing about the Africans. Even if he gets upset, he goes and cool off and come back. But as soon as the guy leaves, that's when Niger comes in. He wasn't interested in talking about what is going on. He sounded just like your familiar Nigerian that pulls a 419 on you. The person that scams you. He comes in, he's like, oh, no, such and such, please come back, please come back. He wants to befriend them like they are brothers and sisters while fighting Africans. When an African person talks about their experience in America or England, he would downplay it. And this is not only him. I have names. I can even name you names in real life. This goes all the way to judges. There's a judge named Judge Okoloko. You can look him up. Washington State, Snohomish County. Go look at his record. If you are a Black person, you come to that court, there's a reason why he's there. He's there to run interference because Black people believe in skin color. You're thinking, oh, they put a Black person there, so the courts are going to be fair. No, he is there to run interference. Who do you think are mercenary judges in Africa? I gave you examples of even Gambia. When the dictator Yahya Jammeh wanted to run down his opponents, to lock them up, to use the court system to take them down, he brought in Nigerian judges. They put so much emphasis on the material world, money. So therefore, there's nothing you cannot buy. You can buy their integrity. You can pay them to destroy you, your opponents for you. So we see this over and over. We're seeing this on the internet as well. But the reason why we are here, there's a video that African React made about Ike Ojiamen. And the reason why he made this video, I have the video here, and I have African React himself here. I'll have the discussion with him. You guys are going to see exactly what I'm talking about. See, people, we cannot say unity, and it's not based in truth. Because even in the United States, when you hear Black people complain and say, oh, these Africans are trying to hijack our identity, when you go look, when you go check and see the African they are talking about, where do they come from? There's a guy named Tariq Nasheed. He's constantly talking about African this, African that. But the Africans he's talking about that are trying to hijack their identity, representing themselves as Black Americans, they are not from anywhere else but Nigeria. But we all of us get bit with their stick because they call it Africa. So you are pulled into that. But now we're not only getting bit with the things that you're doing. Now you're turning around to try to discount our experiences. Yeah, exactly. Fake American hip hop swag. Who is more likely to do that? Who's more likely to do that? You go on Twitter, you see the people who are even talking about affirmative action or on behalf of Black Americans or reparations. If you don't believe me, go there and see. Check out the loudest voices and do the background and see where they are from. Just go check for yourself. But you see, like I said, most Black Americans, since they're conditioned to believe that, oh, it's African, they're African, so that's what rings out. So therefore, they see it as it's all Africans. But you can go see the names of the people, and you look at why are they putting Nigerian on the newspaper to say they are doing better than any other immigrant group, any other Black Americans. Go look at the people that are writing this newspaper. Ask yourself, why are they writing this? Why? Why are the Nigerians way more active, even in the government jobs, on social media, representing themselves as Black Americans? And now I understand they have to pander to them. They have to beat you, African, down. They have to take you down because they know you are not like that. So therefore, they have to play the gatekeeping, as they have to act as gatekeepers. So while Black Americans are thinking, oh, the Africans are doing this, they are doing that, in the meantime, it is not even Africans. You got to see the nationality and understand. You look at it straight. You're not going to run into a Gambian individual who is doing that, or a Kenyan person. They would most likely be Nigerian or a Cameroonian individual, from my observation. But the Nigerians are more active. They are more active than the Cameroonians because there is more of them. In Africa, and most Africans, they're not going to say this out loud, but most of you know who you don't trust most of the time. Let's just be honest. And unfortunately, the honest Nigerians also get bit with that stick. Hey, you see, you have to remember something. If you witness your mother get bitten by a black snake and she dies right away, the next time you see a black snake, you're not going to have the time to try to, figure out whether it's a poisonous one or not. You would run the other way. So this is what is going on. So we just have to use common sense. We cannot go with our feelings and emotions. People say, oh no, we are all Black. But if we are all Black, why are you constantly against my interests? You want me to align myself to you, but the things that you are constantly doing is hurting me. How come? Oh, my experience don't matter. Every single time I see you talking, you are talking with people that are against me. But then you pretend like, oh no, you and I were in the same boat. But I see what you're doing. What you're doing is all about what you can get from everyone, including myself. So I'm not going to fool myself. I speak of the things that I see. And you guys have seen here. I've talked about even my own native country, which is Gambia. I've spoken the truth about my own native country. And there's a reason why I do this. It's not for entertainment. It might be entertaining to some people, but we have to be honest about the things that are going on. And this has been ongoing forever. Who is more likely to contact you over the internet and not for good purposes? They're trying to take from you every single time. But that brings us to the YouTube where we are. You look at the quote unquote Pan-African space. You know, Black people talk about, oh, they want to go to Africa. But you see, even Black Americans, they know deep down, you're not going to hear most of them say, oh, I want to go to Nigeria. How come? How come? They don't say that. There is something deep inside of them that's telling them, nah. But they're not going to say it. I know why they're not going there. I know why they're choosing the countries that they're choosing. Because they feel safer in those places. Even if every now and again bad things happen, they still choose those places over Nigeria any day. And people have to speak about this. Last time I had a Nigerian person come, he's like, oh, you cannot speak like that, because you're saying all Nigerians. Let me clarify here. Not all, but most. But most. I have seen the damage and I continue to see it. In this quote unquote Pan-African space, just listen to these people when they come on the panel. Yes, they pandering to African Americans, Black Americans, as I like to call them. But if they are honest with themselves, do you want somebody who is just pandering to you? Or they're going to tell you the truth? It is medication. It would be bitter, but you will be healed. If I'm sick and they give me the medication and it's bitter, I would take it. I would take the medication so it can heal me. But if you just give me sugary stuff, a placebo will not do anything for me. That is what is going on. We have to use the internet in a fruitful manner. We cannot just do these things to one another, discounting people's experiences or hijacking people's identity. Yeah, they speak for Black Americans, but Black Americans don't understand. Their identity has been hijacked. But they get upset and say, oh, you all Africans are doing this. But it's not Africans. What do you mean Africans? Africans came from, it's a continent, but you got to look at where they come from. You got to look at where they come from. You can't just say, y'all are Africans. You have to go to the source and diagnose and understand what it is. Who's doing this? Who is saying what? Ask yourself, someone like Franklin, why, if he's talking about Nigerian problem, why does he exacerbate it and pass it off to you as if black? Why is this man putting pictures talking about Black excellence? Black people are the ones that do that. Let's see. KS said the camera quality isn't very good tonight. I think it might be on your end because I'm looking at it. It's definitely great here on my side, So, but I don't want to keep going on and on. Let me play the video that Ike Ojiame made about African React and accusing him of hating having hate for Black Americans. Ask yourself, why would this man go make that video? He didn't come talk to African React, even though he heard him say, no, I don't hate Black Americans. And I've heard this young man talk. I've watched his videos. I know that he doesn't hate Black Americans, but Black Americans, most of them have been programmed to, anytime you speak facts to them that they don't like, they're programmed to say, call it hate. And that's fine. But that doesn't necessarily mean the person is being hateful. In fact, the person is being lovely to you by telling you the truth. Because there's no one more outspoken than a Black American. There's no group more outspoken than them in this country. There is a fine line between hate and love. We all know this. When somebody hates you, when they speak about you, the way they speak, the way they interpret things, you will know if they hate you or not. So we have to use our common sense. Don't just jump off the bridge. But the young man clearly spoke, and he made it clear to all of us that, no, I don't hate anyone. I'm just talking about the truth. But they're the ones calling it hate. Since they want to call it hate, I will call it that as well. Plain and simple. But here, he did his reaction to the video that Ike made about him, and he brought some people in the panel, and you Africans are going to hear what he said about African culture. He's speaking for all Africans.
Yo, what is up, guys? It's African Reacts here, and today I just wanted to do a reaction video on EK, the albino gorilla. I believe that's his name, EK. Just wanted to do a reaction on him, and that's it. So hopefully you enjoy it.
Why do Africans hate African Americans? Here's one thing: as an immigrant, you come in and I came in, right, when I was 17. And there is an aspect of inferiority that is implicit in the story of the immigrant, right?
Did you guys hear that? So maybe he felt inferior when he came to America, but he's saying there's an aspect of inferiority in the immigrant. So he's playing with words. You see? He's playing with words. He's trying to intellectualize things. But over here at the Afridamos Report, we deal with logic and wisdom. Logic and wisdom beats intellectuals every single time. Because when people intellectualize things so much, they hide behind dishonesty. They play with words. They are not straightforward. You see? So to me, that's dishonest. So if you want to say, you think Africans feel inferior, African immigrants, say that. Don't try to sugarcoat it and say Africans. But we'll allow African React to respond to it here.
I know you guys just heard of this guy just say that Africans or immigrants have a inferiority complex towards mainly Black Americans when they come to the United States, which doesn't make sense. And he's an immigrant himself, as you heard. He came here when he was 17, but
How how does that work out? For me as an African, that is a no, because my family had a superiority complex. It's actually the opposite for a majority of the Africans who come here. So I don't know where this guy has lived, but if he did his research, he could have known that majority of the Africans who come over here have a superiority complex. He's the, you would say, the minority of Africans who feel inferior to Black Americans. I mean, how do you explain that? When you look at Black Americans, how do you feel inferior to this? If I find a photo, I may place it on the screen. I guess when he was a kid, he felt inferior to that. I don't understand this guy, but he did not do his research, and he was reacting to my video actually. He did not do his research. He doesn't know anything. It looks like he's just talking out of his behind, and somebody actually had to check him at the end of his life. Because his whole life, he just lied about everything. So, well, let's continue.
Yeah,
So you're not gonna get anywhere.
when you first come here, okay, this psychologically,
So he brought in Dr. K. Polymath Kaizo, who usually comes here to this channel sometimes. So the fact of the matter is, what he is saying, I cannot relate to that. I have never felt inferior to anyone, whether black, white, blue, or green. Okay? And most of the Africans that I know that come to the United States, I can assure you 100%, they don't feel inferior to anyone. But you see, this narrative to try to make it seem like black people are the only group that live in America. You could literally live in America in most places. You could live here the whole time. You wouldn't have any contact or associate with black people. It's true. It's a fact. Most places you go to, if it's not like the big inner cities, or some states, even you can go in their cities, you're not gonna have any interaction with black people. But to put this emphasis on black people all the time to make it seem like the world revolves around them, maybe that's how he thinks, but the rest of us don't think that way. You see? But he should have been speaking about his own experience instead of, pushing that on all of us. And he's not the only one that does this. Like I said, in panels, mostly is either a Nigerian person or Cameroonian person who would come and say such things or exhibit such inferiority complex. And I can't understand it myself. But it depends on how they were raised, where they come from, what they feel about their own identity. I think he's completely off on this one.
unconsciously, every fiber of your being trying to assimilate and acclimate itself to the new environment, right? When people then throw stones at you, you're going to, there's going to be a significant number, okay, of people, right, who got hit that are going to be traumatized by it. Not to be a snowflake about it.
Again, this guy just dropped the ball again from the building all the way to the ground. It's funny how these are blatant lies. Okay, so he said majority of the Africans, when they come here, they try to fit in with Black America. And I disagree on that. Majority of the Africans actually try to stay away from that. So if that was his experience, I believe he tried to get along with Black Americans and they threw stones at him, but he didn't get traumatized, is what he says. So he was one of the minor Africans who tried to fit in with Black America, but majority don't. They actually try to stay away because they know what's gonna happen. The guy's just, if you listen to him and you block out the video, you would think it's another type of people, another type of immigrant, because many African immigrants don't even experience that or go through what he's talking about. But the guy, I don't know what he's trying to do, pander, or it's either that or he's just out of it. He just doesn't know the experience of majority of Africans in the United States. And what I would tell him is to do his research, and he would know, but just being ignorant won't take you anywhere. Let's continue.
Be the case at all. You may be
Enjoy it.
See, some of you are saying, oh, African Ria dropped the ball. Nah, he did not drop the ball here. Just stick around. You will know that he did not drop the ball, because this man, he did this video to completely discount African React's experience. And the truth of the matter is, you guys are seeing people put it, in the section. Yeah, I get that there's a lot of Nigerians who would interact with Black Americans. They go to the same churches and stuff. Don't forget, there are majority other Africans who don't even share religion with you. You see, they do not share religion with you. The only interaction you probably have with them is at work, or you run into them. That's about it. Plain and simple. They don't really interact like that. But what he's saying here, he's trying to project his experience onto every African. Let's see. I think that's a fake account. It's an American. I don't know what he's saying, Amilka.
why do Africans hate African Americans? Here's one thing: as an immigrant, you come in and I came in, right, when I was 17, and there is an aspect of inferiority that is implicit in the story of the immigrant, right?
I know you guys just heard of this guy just say that Africans or immigrants have a inferiority complex towards mainly Black Americans when they come to the United States, which doesn't make sense. And he's an immigrant himself. As you heard, he came here when he was 17.
Significant number, okay, of people, right, who got hit that are going to be traumatized by it. Not to be a snowflake about it.
Again, this guy just dropped the ball again from the building all the way to the ground. Just being ignorant won't take you anywhere. Let's continue.
Be the case at all. You may be culturally inferior, economically inferior, sociologically, psychologically, intellectually inferior all around. But you want to make up excuses. But sorry for cutting you off there. Just wanted to emphasize that point.
I would say that most Africans do feel culturally superior. Can we be honest about that?
And I'm guessing that's what's her name? African millennial. And she's absolutely correct. I don't know what this guy is talking about, but Africans that I know feel very culturally superior, not only to Blacks, but to whites and other groups. I can tell you that. If you don't believe me, go have conversations with them and start talking about culture. You will find out. You will find out. Yeah, are you going to run into some of your fake ones who want to be others? But I can assure you, most Africans you see here in America, you discuss with them, like about culture, they feel very superior to, I mean, they feel their culture is superior to other cultures. I'm just telling you how they feel.
Interesting.
So somebody actually had to hop on there and correct the guy. And from my understanding from watching that stream, he's basically trying to put down other Africans or fellow Africans to pander to his audience, which is majority Black Americans. So that's what that guy's doing, and it won't really take him anywhere. And if you're watching this, I think his name is EK. If you're watching this, EK, I just wanted to give you some advice. The area you're in, it won't work out for your phenotype and genotype, if you want to say that too, but for your phenotype, it won't work out for you. That's just a tip. Don't take it as I actually feel sorry for you, but if you're, because it looks like you're a professional YouTuber, you're not just doing this for fun or just to voice your opinion. Like for me, I just voice my opinion. I'm not like in an office somewhere with like sound mufflers or something like that. I just wanted to tell you this. Ask yourself, with all the pandering you do, what Black Americans are gonna sit down and listen to an albino African tell them about dating? Just ask yourself that. And I have proof for that because when you look at his channel, he has 4,000 subs, averaging 500 views. Make that make sense. So I actually feel sorry for the guy, and the category of YouTube he's on is not gonna work out, and that's just the hard truth. If you're watching this, EK, not to be mean or anything, but hey, you brought this upon yourself. You try to beneath or try to step on Africans. I have to talk about it, so there's nothing else I can say. I believe you do, from looking at your videos and categories, you do mainly dating or talking about women, which you should not be, but from your phenotype, I mean, bro looks like a grandpa if you think about it.
Okay. Now I'm gonna bring in African React, the man himself, for him to speak, you guys to hear him. Hey, African React, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Are you seeing the chat? What some of them are saying? You can just ignore it, but I just want to. Have you seen some of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. So when you first saw the video, what did you think about it? What first came to your mind?
I mean, he was just disrespectful throughout the video. He was laughing at experiences that Africans go through, which was not funny, because there's kids out here who are considering suicide because of that experience, and he's just laughing and joking about it.
Yeah, because he was downplaying it, saying, don't be a snowflake, not understanding that, you're not speaking just to for one person, yourself, because of what you've seen and what you continue to see. You're speaking for those, kids as well. But there are some people who are butthurt about you calling him a gorilla. What do you say to that?
I mean, that was a joke. It's like saying it was a joke. I mean, you can call me a gorilla, a black one, if you want to say that.
Right.
It was a joke. An albino African person, you can call me a gorilla or say an albino gorilla. It was just a joke.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was on a show once, and it's called, was the lead attorney. The same thing, they try to talk about this, oh, you can't, like the monkey thing. They try to call it rude or whatsoever. I'm like, so you guys think that, so if you're not a gorilla, you're a human being, why do you care?
Yep.
Like, what like, is that, does it mean you truly believe you are at the same level as a monkey or a gorilla? I was trying to have that you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's another thing. Like, I'm glad like, you don't go by
And
what they
some
think.
people, yeah, and some people are actually saying, like the Audrey person, she said, "Nah, you can't make fun of albinos like that."
Why
I
not?
didn't even make fun of albinos. I
He's
mean, I could
talking
have.
about,
Do you know
yeah.
what I could have said? I I consider albinos as African,
Mhm.
so there's cruel stuff I could have said in that video, but out of respect, and I consider albinos as my brothers, I didn't say it. It was just a joke.
Well, KS, I get it. You said when Africans were, were were treated like zoo animals, but so if some Africans were treated like zoo animals, that's still going on. Not only Africans, when they put people in prison behind those bars, they have been treated just like zoo animals. I know this because I worked there. So let's not pretend to care about, somebody just using words. Versus, if we want to go there, let's speak about the facts. When they are taking people, putting them, behind bars, locking them up, isn't that being treated like a zoo animal? They come and feed you, people checking up on you, your privacy is gone. That's worse than a zoo animal. So for me, if people are saying they put more emphasis, than on someone just saying, oh, like if someone tells me you look like a gorilla, that's not gonna piss me off. That's nothing to me, because
Yeah,
I'm
me
not a
too.
gorilla. It's not a big deal to me, but if you're hurt by that, that just tells me where your mentality is, because it's just words. It's just words. But you see, what's funny? I saw where Brandon came, right? He said something about you, and this same group of people, they heard it and they didn't say anything. That was
Yeah, I did.
okay. You see
Yeah,
what I'm
you.
saying?
All these Africans in the comments, he called me a bumblebee or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
He called
yeah.
me a
And
monkey one time.
yeah, he called this young man a monkey, a bumblebee. You didn't make a big deal about it. And the same people listening, they've heard this.
If I
But
was to get triggered in that live stream, I could have called them all types of names, fat, all of that. But I said, I just
no,
stayed respectful. Told him, "You're going to Kenya, well, which you'll see people that look like me. So I don't
right,
care."
right. Well, the thing is, you know what that tells me? If you notice, right? If you notice on YouTube, on these spaces, you can say anything about white people and Africans. You can use all these words about them. When you're mad at them, nobody would be upset. Like, they're not gonna pretend, right? But the moment you say something to about somebody that they feel like they like or whatsoever, now all of a sudden, oh man, you should have never said that. Blah blah. Is the guy, is he a gorilla? I'm asking you people that are watching, that are saying you're hurt by that. Is he a gorilla? Obviously, he's not a gorilla. We all know this. You
I mean,
know?
some people would. joke for me, they will put a black gorilla, but I'm not gonna get triggered because I'm not a black gorilla. So
Right, right. Look, I have seen it. It's not that anyone told me. I was watching a show. I'm sitting there watching when I heard Brandon. Not only did he call you something, what did he say? A third beetle. He called you a monkey. I heard it. I mean, and I'm reading the comment section. None of them are saying anything. You know why? Because Africans are not hurt by words. We just brush it off. You see what I'm saying? White people seem to brush things off. You say these things, they brush it off too. But when it comes to blacks in the diaspora, oh, you can say a gorilla. What do you guys think a gorilla is inferior? Is that what this is? Because I came there to make the argument. Even on that show, they were talking about monkeys. I said, I've been around, I've seen plenty of monkeys. There are different kinds of monkeys. And I can assure you, there are a lot of people walking around. They are not more intelligent than monkeys. It's a fact. They are not more intelligent than monkeys. The only thing that they have over the monkey is they can talk and the monkey cannot talk. That's the difference. So if someone calls me a monkey or gorilla, it's actually a compliment to me, to be honest. It's a compliment. Slayer Jam, I get that, but you didn't say, did you say something to Brandon when he exactly Audrey remembers, when Brandon referred to you as a dung beetle.
I mean, I was okay with it. Did you
I
see
know.
me calling him fat or, oh, you look like this? I just say it doesn't matter because I know you don't mean that because you're going to Kenya and people look like me. So it was just a joking or to get at me, which I'm not going to get mad at it.
I mean, like Slayer Jam, I get that, but my thing is like to internalize and try to get hurt for somebody. That's just your interpretation. Maybe you have issues with monkeys, and yeah, I know KS is this is 17-year-old, he should be in books. I think he already
I'm already doing that. I'm learning
I think
coding.
he's already, yeah, go ahead.
I'm learning coding, all types of new things. And I'm using YouTube to learn editing. Also that I just do videos, give my opinion, and then see how I can edit it. So I'm learning new things every day.
Oh, and Slayer Gem wants to know, why did you attack Ike's, physical appearance?
It was a joke. I didn't even attack anything. In the video, did you hear me like half of the video talking about anybody's appearance?
No,
I just talked about the main points.
Yeah, the video, I don't see any issues with it. You went straight to the main points, and where necessary, you spoke, you point out things, and I don't see any issues with that. Yesterday, when I made that video, I called Brandon a sumo wrestler. People didn't have issues with it, right? So, I mean, my thing is, even though I'm asking you, like, it's like people are the ones interpreting it the way they want to, but we can't just allow people to interpret things for us. That's how you see it. That's how you see it. When he went on his platform downplaying your experience, what did you feel about that?
I mean, I've met children who go through that, and for him to just sit up there and laugh, it's so disrespectful. And I may actually be doing interviews with children, African children who go through that, and posting them because nobody's speaking up for them.
Yeah. You know what? I think you should definitely do that, because I think a lot of people, they are just selfish and disingenuous when it comes to, Africans. You see, um, when it comes to Africans, all all bets are off. You know, you can say whatever you want and call it a joke. You see, they can say hurtful things and call it a joke. You see what I'm saying? But
Yep.
when you say one thing, one thing, oh, they're all upset. A gorilla, like, who gets upset when if someone calls you a gorilla? That's, it's, I think it's about the sensibility. Because when people start saying, oh, they put Africans in zoo, hey, sure, maybe that happened, but that's not happening now. You know, just because he called this man a gorilla doesn't mean he's gonna turn into a gorilla, or they're gonna come grab him and put him in a gorilla in a cage. That's not reality. We have to be factual about things, because that's another thing about America, where a lot of the times, the sensibilities is from the women, and they project this onto young men, you see. And you are 17 years old, 17, and you're able to withstand all these mere words, because these are just words. They mean absolutely nothing. You
Yep.
see, they mean nothing. I mean, like, if you referring to this man as a gorilla is the worst thing you could say, I would say you're being very nice, you
I
know.
and I consider albinos as my people, so I could have went down the cruel path, but I'm not like that.
and and the observations that I've given here, you know about several of the people, some of them, did you see what I'm saying? Did you observe the same thing, or do
Y-
you think I'm overreacting?
Definitely, I observed the same things.
And how does it make you feel? I mean, we shouldn't use feelings, but seeing that, the whole picture and the experiences of those kids. Because I remember once, two Niger was just saying, "Oh, it's just kids. It's just kids." So a kid getting stabbed, you know, is that literally just being a kid?
Nope.
So I don't really I don't understand it, and when you see them saying that you hate Black Americans, is that true?
No, like there's if you go to my video comments, there's Africans who are more cruel than me. I'm not that cruel. I don't even say anything that's cruel. I just say my opinion. Do you hear me calling them names?
Nope.
I just say what I think.
Mimi said, "Oh, true, but it's not okay to call people monkey and gorilla because we've been called." Hey, I don't know you. We when I was growing up in Africa, they've called. They were like, "Hey, stop jumping around like a monkey." That's like, it's not a big deal. Who cares? You
It's
know?
like the black people who like they might be in a white group and they're discussing something and then they decide to talk about, let's say, monkeys. Maybe it's in a science class, and then it gets all awkward for them just because they're talking about monkeys. They are those types of people. They're just too sensitive.
Rasmois, I think you have it all wrong. African React never played victim when they called him names. Maybe you're just coming in, but that's never. Did you ever play victim when they called you those
No,
names? He's never played victim. I don't know what you're talking about.
I
You
want
know,
Ras Moist to show me a clip where I got triggered or just started shouting. in
Yeah.
a live stream or something like that.
Well, yeah, that these are some of the things that we we have to talk about, because at the end of the day, I have been seeing it, non-stop, not only online, in real life, right? Especially with black people. Oh man, they are vicious with the names that they refer to Africans as. I see it, and I don't see Africans, losing their head, falling off the wall. That's not reality. Hey, Mimi, it doesn't matter where it is. You cannot create speech for people. You cannot tell people, how they can talk. This is between him and Ike. I'm pretty sure Ike knows that he's not a gorilla, and African Reacts knows that Ike is not a gorilla. Yeah, if you don't see it as a joke, that's on you.
I mean, there's some people even that tell me that I look like a frog in the comments. But I know I'm not a frog, I'm a human, so I don't know how.
I think sometimes it's one of those things, people using their own sensibility and their own fragility. You know how, like, a kid, right? A young kid is just playing and the kid falls down. When the kid falls down and nobody rushes and try to, oh, the kid hurt, the kid is fine, will get up and do whatever. But the moment people rush in and, oh, try to, get the kid going, and then all of a sudden the kid starts crying. Well, Audrey, thanks for proving my point again. She is saying, oh, African React cannot drop $500. It's not about money. It's not about money. I mean, we know a lot of people with tons of money. We see them, in the news. We see them everywhere. But what is their moral standard like? I would not give up my morality for the amount of money they have. The money means absolutely nothing, So that's not what it's about. It's about, the reality of things, what we are seeing. And I mean, are we saying, oh, Ike is a completely bad person? No, but the video that he made and him watching, Africa React talking about what really happened. And he's telling you guys that this is not just about him. There are kids that are so disturbed, they are thinking about committing suicide. But what is anyone saying about that? Imagine those kids watching that video. Ike is sitting there saying,
calling them a snowflake.
Yeah, calling them a snowflake. And I see it all the time. Several times I've seen it where the argument happened was, for example, like Kwesi from Ghana. When Kwesi talks about his experience, there is always people that come, black people, somehow they want to tell Kwesi, oh, be strong, be this, be that. But when the shoe is on the other foot, oh, you can be saying that, you can do this and that, blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm saying? It's completely different, man. Let me see here. Mimi says, Afridamos, he's in a different environment. I hope he will not call anyone monkey outside. Mimi, I think this young man is smarter than most people.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go around.
Why would he go around calling? Yeah, why would he go around calling people monkeys? Come on, people. Let's not conflate this. Let's not make this seem like, like, oh, all of a sudden he's, African. Who did he call a gorilla? This is between him and Ike. He didn't go calling people that. This is between him and that man, a grown man who downplayed his experience. Plain and
Yep.
simple. So I don't, like, when people, it is blowing my mind to see, grown-ups. Grown-ups. I'm not talking about young people. Grown people, truly, the only thing they are fixated on is, oh, you referred to this man as a gorilla. Okay, so what? So what? He referred to him as a gorilla. Is the man a gorilla? He's not a gorilla. We all know this. And I'm pretty sure Ike is not hurt by this young man referring to him as one. Plain and simple. I see here Rasmus is trying to say it's hypocrisy. You know what? I'm just gonna ignore that because I don't. Again, again, when out of everything you're saying, all they care about is the gorilla part. Maybe deep down, they think they are gorillas themselves and they hate it. I don't know. I mean, if someone calls me, like, I've heard rappers, literally, this is Black American rappers, in songs referring to themselves as silverback gorillas.
Yeah. Even in Black America, there's some Black Americans getting mad at that. Even in Black American culture, somebody might tell you, "Get your monkey ass out," or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
You
they're
see-
not actually telling you you're a monkey. It's just a joke.
Nagmiz is making me laugh here. He said, I called him, crying about it. He's traumatized and will never go to the zoo. Man, I'm sorry to hear that happen. African react. But on a real note, though, the videos that you make, can you explain why you make these videos?
I make them to respond to hate that Africans get. Not hate, but just anybody that speaks about Africans in kind of a bad way, I'll make a video on them and just give my reaction to it. And people say that's hating.
No, I find that fascinating because the videos that you talk about, the videos you do reaction on, these people are sitting there taking their time recording this video and putting it out. Okay, fine. There's going to be Africans who would just brush it off. They wouldn't say anything. They wouldn't care. Or they don't know a way to respond to it. But not all Africans are going to feel that way. And I like what you do about it. I can tell, like, there's no hate involved. You're not coming there, going to their level. You destroy, their ignorance with humor.
Yep. And there's actually Black American channels out here. I don't know if you've seen them that actually hate Africa. They call them, call us names and stuff.
Oh yeah, I've
But
seen.
in my videos, I just say my opinion. I don't call them slurs or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I know for a fact because even myself, my channel, there are people that say, "Oh, this man is being hateful. He's been this and that." It makes me laugh, because why would I waste my time to come on the internet to express hate? You gotta have hate in you to give hate, and
Yep.
and the simple fact is, if you cannot take the heat, you gotta step out of the kitchen. You cannot give a certain energy, and when people give it back, you start crying. Go look in my comment section or look around in YouTube here. Do you see anyone with a wrench in my comment section?
Nope.
No. I believe in freedom of speech. People come here, they call me a free dumbass. Which is worst, calling someone a gorilla or constantly calling me a dumbass? Which one is worst? But I don't see these same people saying, "Oh no, do not call him do not call Afridamus Afridomas. Either way, like I could care less. You know, these are just words. It reminds me of like when I was growing up, right? When us boys were playing, you know, we can play with each other, but the guys that are mama's boys, they are the ones who cannot take the, you know, the words. They cannot, when you make fun of them, they have to cry, they have to go to their mamas, and the mama have to step in because their mamas are interpreting these things for them. You see, like I never knew that, like when I see for a group of people that have no problem calling somebody else monkeys, African booty scratcher, dung beetle, or, you know, Africans are smelly. Maybe you ran into some African who, you know, exhibit some odor. So now all of a sudden, not only you ran into an African who probably didn't shower or or douse themselves in their cooking spice, not allspice, but maybe cooking spice. So now all of a sudden, you're gonna refer to every African as that. I don't see Africans crying about that.
Yep.
I don't run into Africans saying, I can't believe these people are saying this about us. But it's like they say it. And you know what? When you say anything, you know what they say? We are a group of people that keep it real. Hey, you shouldn't have problem with people, other people that keep it real, because everyone can keep it real. I prefer people that keep it real. There is no words. And me personally, there's nothing that someone says to me that hurts my feelings. It's just words. It's just words. It means nothing. If you
Yep.
want, you can call me a silverback gorilla. In fact, I would take it as a compliment. Do you understand? Do you know how strong a silverback gorilla is?
Can
But
lift
people are
up a
saying,
car.
huh?
It can lift
Exactly.
up a car.
Yeah. So for people to sit here and pretend like a silverback gorilla or gorilla is an inferior animal, it just blows my mind. But because, okay, some, you say, oh, they put some Africans, you know, in an exhibition as zoo, in a zoo. So now all of a sudden that applies to every African. Like what is this world coming to? That did not happen to you. That didn't happen to Ike. That didn't happen to anyone here. Plain and simple. So to me, it's just a overreaction. When people put so much emphasis on these things, it's just overreaction. You know, you are a 17-year-old. You can handle this more than any of these people. Okay?
Yep.
Same people, they would sit there and literally watch this happen to Africans. You know, how do you think white people feel when, you know, people are just saying everything about them?
I mean, there's if you follow the conscious movement, there's Black Americans calling white people monkeys now.
Oh
So
yeah.
I don't,
Oh, look.
and the white people are not in the comments complaining and
Yeah. Oh, calling them Neanderthals.
Neanderthal, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I've
cave
seen it.
cave
I've seen it all.
monkeys, stuff like that.
Yeah. I've seen it. They, you know, some, you know, it's like a big thing. You know, especially when they discovered the word Muzungu, they beat the hell out of Muzungu. Now, you know, the word no longer even means anything.
Yep.
You know, it no longer even mean anything. But I would really want to see you talk to some of these young men, so they can share their experience, so the people
Yep.
can hear this. Because you know what, for me, right, it's about the truth. The truth shall, you know, will prevail. You know, the most old people, they are stuck in their ways. You know, they don't have to agree with what is being shared. They don't have to. But as long as, you know, these people that are exhibiting these characters, they are saying these things, they would get a pushback every single time. Every single time they put out videos like this, we would analyze it and speak about the truth. Because you
Yep.
know what they say, the truth shall set you free. That's reality. The same way, like my son, for example, I told you, he's your age. You can you call him you can call him monkey. He's probably just gonna laugh. He would find it funny,
Yep.
like but it's the way people raise their kid. Like someone calls you a monkey, and now all of a sudden you're ready to fight over that. Like that's why, like, for me, most of the time, like if you notice, people that troll me, their trolling doesn't go far because they would say a bunch of things. It's a bunch of nothings, because I have already played in playgrounds. Like African playgrounds are no joke. Okay, they are no joke. So, oh yeah, we have Kwesi here. For example, I watched where Kwesi. Now that we have Kwesi in the chat, Kwesi was giving his experience. I'm sure you've watched it. How many
Yep.
people did you see in the comment section, or even hit the link to come and tell Kwesi to man up? You need to move on. Oh, really? But you're constantly talking about white people, even white people that didn't do anything to you. But you're saying, oh, their ancestors did that. But this man is not pointing at what happened to other group of people. He's telling you, this happened to me by this group of people. But you're telling them move on. Or when the person said they call me this and that, I saw the people laughing. So this is why, like, some of these women that are talking, I don't pay attention to it, because they are giving me woman logic. Okay, the way real
Yep.
men think and women is different, because like I said here, mama's boys, we've had mama's boys around us. Mama's boys cannot hang with real men. You've seen yesterday when one of the mama's boy tried to go at me. How did that go for him?
Not very good.
Exactly. Exactly like what Kwesi is saying. Whenever I speak on UK experiences, Black Americans call to deflect. Kwesi, I've seen it over and over again. And the things that you were saying, in fact, I was watching when Brandon came there and started discounting you, telling you, oh, Kwesi, you need to grow, blah, blah, blah. As that conversation was taking place, a friend of mine, he lives in Birmingham, UK. He calls me on the phone. He can hear. He said, what are you watching? I said, oh, this conversation. And I told him what you were saying. He confirmed everything. This man, my friend, is married to a Jamaican, mind you. He's like, oh yeah, this is a big issue. He said the Jamaicans like that. They talk like this about Africans. He said, I mean, it's getting better now, but he said it's real, and I know that what Kwesi was saying, or he constantly says, is true. It's true. I don't know if I agree with Kwesi's solution for it, but what he's saying is absolutely true. He said, Afridamus, you sound worried about what Brandon called you. Oh, sure. I am very, very worried. That's where the disconnect comes in, because when you're telling somebody, oh, you need to get over your experience, it doesn't matter. But you should be taking your own advice. Don't you think so, young man?
Yep.
You should be taking your own advice, instead of coming here, trying to, downplay it, calling African kids experience they are being snowflakey, or they are being hateful, blah blah blah. Or when Kwesi speaks about his experience, like, dude, you don't live in the UK, you weren't around Kwesi, you know and I see, like, right now they say, oh, Kwesi, you're being hateful. So when you talking about white, quote unquote, white supremacy or whatsoever, oh, does that mean you're being hateful? And it blows my
Yeah,
mind.
if you go on there and say how white people treated you bad and all of that, they'll listen to you and they
Right,
won't tell you
right,
to move on. But
right,
if you
right.
talk about
Because
the experience you had with black people, they try to show you up.
yeah, yeah, because now they've turned it into this thing where no black person does anything wrong ever. It's always the white people that do things. But when you speak, you're like, look, I live here, I live it amongst a sea of white people. This has never happened. They would deflect and say, oh, you don't know what they are thinking. Hey, I don't care what somebody is
Yep.
thinking. No, I'm thinking things too. Everyone is thinking things. Who cares about what they are thinking? But what about the person that is, exhibiting what they are thinking? That's what we go by. What you are showing me, the things that you are saying to me, or the way you treat me. That's what I can go by. A white person or blue person can think what they want to think. I'm thinking things too. So now we're gonna go by what you think someone is thinking, despite not knowing what they are thinking in their head. Is that what we're going to be doing now? But that's just all, deflection tactics. And I know my parents raised me better than that, 100%. Like, because you're not gonna be, you know, pissing on me and trying to convince me that, it's raining. See, that's the difference. A lot of, because you see in America, I don't know if you caught that, even like with these, you would see on TV, they would dumb down the people just because TV said it, they believe it,
Yep.
and they try to come and put that into play in real life, and it doesn't work. Now all of a sudden, because TV told them, if anyone disagrees with it, they are a hateful person. So that's why you hear this hate constantly. No, like, people are not gonna go for what you're selling, and to make it seem like, you know Africans have to align with your ideology. That's completely off. This is a big country. Africans didn't come here, you know know to say, oh, there's two sets of rules, the black rule and the American rule. I go by the American Constitution. That's why I have the flag behind me. The freedom of speech, fr- Second Amendment, all that. I support all that.
Yep.
That's what people are guided by. But now, you as an ordinary citizen, you want to tell me I have to align with what you're thinking? I have the right to reject that. And when you say something, I have, freedom of speech. Just like you have the freedom of speech to express yourself, I have the freedom of speech to analyze and lay out what you're saying. But many black people don't respect that. Why do you think that is?
I mean, I just think sometimes they don't want to hear the truth. Not all, but some. Like for the hate thing, they should be taking notes when Africans. I mean, how when you look at Africans, how can we be hateful? I don't get. We're one of the nicest people, so I don't get that. When you see Africans keeping a distance from you, just know you're doing something wrong.
I'm
It's
glad
like
you said that.
oh, they don't want their kids to interact with our kids. Africans are one of the nicest people. We don't hate anyone. So if there's
That's
something
what
in your culture that makes us keep a distance, you should know that you're doing something wrong.
exactly, because the fact of the matter is when you have an attractive culture, you wouldn't have to worry about people not wanting to be a part of it. In fact,
Yep.
they'll be fighting to come to your culture, right?
Yep.
But if they're and for Ike to say what he said, it actually, I'm a bit surprised, because in America here, like I said, there's a lot more Nigerians, and they have their children, and the blacks would tell you, they know, like most Nigerian parents would tell their kids to stay away from the blacks. I'm
Yep.
sure he knows something about that.
All in Texas down there.
Yeah, I know, because I hear it on the internet all the time, and I know Nigerian families. See, some of these people that they'll probably think, oh, you're talking about all Nigerians. In fact, the Nigerians that I know, they've already approved this message because they talk like this. Okay, they are known to keep their kids away. Plain and simple. People are like, no. And I don't think it's out of hate. I know for a fact it's not, is that's not what it is.
Yep.
Because if you're doing something that, even in Africa, me growing up, there are some people, some families, the way they are, the way they act, of course your parents are going to tell you, stay away from those people, and they would explain to you why you should stay away from them. Why would your parents stop you from say, oh, stay away from those people because they are so successful? If you're around them, you would do so well. No parent would say that.
Yep.
No parent would say that to their kids. And I watch a video that you talked about. The parents even say, stay away from the Hispanics too.
Yeah, it's not like a specific. They, like, my parents told me to stay away from Hispanics because there were some in my school. So it's not like targeted towards black. It's just any group that moves with that gang or just that
Gang
rap culture.
mentality.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
stuff.
And I know that if there is even African kids, even if they're from Kenya like you, and they behave that same way, wouldn't your
Yeah,
parents
yeah.
still tell
Those
you
say,
to?
yeah. That actually happened to me. My family has another family that has kids that act like that, and they tell me to stay away from them. So it happens in African households too. So.
Yeah, so that's because that's the technique in America. It's called the liberal technique, and it's like a communist mentality, because like I met like a long time ago, ran into a guy. He's at the store. He said, hey, what's up, black man? I said, oh no, I said, I'm not black, I'm African. He was mad. Like he's like, oh, you don't want to be black? But like I was confused because I thought he probably thought I was black like him, like black
Yeah.
American, but I was like trying to correct it. And people, oh, we all black, but how come they themselves, they tell the difference? They're like, the Africans, there's the Africans and there's the black Americans. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Oh, like if you talk to somebody, they'll be like, oh, the African dude, you see? But the
Yeah.
moment you say, oh no, I'm African, they get upset at that. So that's why when Like that's why when I see there are some Africans who play this dumb, like they would say they're Jamaican or they're something else. It makes me laugh, because every now and again you would run into that. And hey, to me, it's like you can do whatever you want, but I always want to stay true to myself. And I've seen some of these people you're talking about, the hate group that say
Yep.
all these things about Africans, and then they say, oh, the Africans, they fill out the form and put African American, like as if we have a choice. We don't have a choice. The white people already have their forms. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
what are you
And
talking
people
about?
don't have time to be fighting over a name. They have other important things to do. So
Yeah, like if on the forms, if they say, African slash, like they would say black slash African American. So truly, like I'm an African American. I was born in Africa, and now I'm an American. So it applies to me, But
yep.
the way they are projecting it, the way they are saying it, is as if, oh, African immigrants came here, they, and told the white people, hey, white people, make the form into this. That's not what happened. So and they speak to us as if, okay, black people have like a separate government of their own,
Yeah.
you know like it's not the American Constitution they go by, or under the umbrella of America. Does that confuse you sometimes?
Yep. And now you have the Indian community, or the
Oh,
indigenous ones,
yeah,
who are
yeah,
claiming that Africans want to steal their identity, and at the same time you've got some Black Americans claiming that Africans don't want to be with them. So it's confusing.
that's America for you. This is why um, I don't waste my time anymore to engage in those conversations, because I used to, before the internet, I used to go talk to those people, the Hebrew Israelites. I've written papers about them. I mean, they gave me the interview and everything. You see, and I'm not surprised. Especially, I'm not surprised to hear people saying they're Indians. I mean, especially like it is now, like people start acting to say they're African. This is a new thing. This is new,
Yep.
because before, like Black Americans, especially women, they would tell you about every color they are mixed with except African. Like they would
Yep.
tell you that they're Indians. They will put emphasis on that.
Yep. They will say I
You
have
know,
Indian or
yeah,
Cherokee in my
yeah,
family.
around early 2000s, mid 2000s, um, no Black person is trying to be African. You see the way people act like this to say, "Oh, gorilla, hey, you were better off calling somebody a gorilla and getting away with it than calling a Black person an African." That is an insult, especially a Black American female, because they
Yep.
associate being an African to being ugly.
Yeah.
So this is their interpretation of an African person, and it's like this guy is trying to say small segment. That's not true. Like, not only on the outs. I used to work in the prison, right? And I've worked in different sections. I ran the visiting program there, and they would have these programs. It's an Indian program. They have it every year. They call it powwow. Powwow. Have you heard of the powwows?
Yep.
Oh, so this internet thing, the people that are here, they are new to this. They don't know what is happening in real life. In those powwow festivals in the prison, who do you think Who do you think are the Indians?
And the Black Americans.
Huh? Exactly. So that's why, like, you know, you would see people, they would put on these feathers and everything. Like they would literally put the feathers, they would be beating the drum, you know. But you know, in prison, every 6 months you can change, you know, like your religion, and then other religion would come. Like around Christmas, they all would become Christian. All you gotta do is fill out a form, you know, fill out a form. But I'm just telling you, like literally, like I would even do it as a joke too. I would say it was very few would accept being African. But most of them, like if I say, oh, you African, they're like, nah. Like they would tell you they are mixed with Irish, you know, some would even tell you Blackfoot Indian, you know, you name it. They would, you know, Cherokee was a big one. The black females, for sure, you know, 9 out of 10 times, they will totally deny it. In fact, they would tell you, oh, no, we don't deal with Africans. No exception. We don't deal with Africans. But then if they like you, then they'll, oh, there is an exception here. You're a different African. You know, they want to join the Indian tribes, because where I'm at here in this state, right? This is Indian country. It's like there's Indians here, you know? And this state came to life. This state was formed after slavery. So there was no slavery in this state. The black presence wasn't that big. Black people didn't start migrating to this state until they call it the big migration, which was in the 40s, you know, through military jobs and stuff like that. But now all of a sudden you run into these people, they are all Indians. I'm like, what is going on here? And I see the Indians. I've seen real Indians. I've been to the reservation. Like I said, I was running the powwows. Not only was I running powwows, even prison weddings, right? Do you know how many prisoners I was their best man in prison, because they don't have other people. So me being the officer, and they're getting married. You see people getting married in their white t-shirt. Man, some of the pictures, it would blow you people's minds. But there is Indians all the time. You know, they are all Indians. You know, when Christmas comes, they are Christians. When the Muslim feast comes, you know, they are Muslim. You know, so it's like if your identity is constantly being, you know, changing, you know, it's like, okay, I'm confused here, you see. And you know, in the prison there wasn't that many Africans, there was few of them, but when they are there, the Africans always remain African. The Africans, they can never be Indian. They're not allowed to. The blacks will not allow that. like I can just get up today and say I'm Indian. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
But you would see a black person who is as dark as me, and he is Indian. And for me, when you say you are Indian, I take your word for it, because I'm telling you, this is a real thing. I used to process the paperwork. Myself. Okay? They send it to me. They call it a kite. And it's funny what they write. They send it to me and I read it, and it says, CO, I want to attend the powwow, and they would name the Indian tribe they belong to. and you have to accept it. You know, we understand that's prison, but when you go outside of prison, now you're running into real life people. They are telling you that they are Indians. And now you're seeing it on the internet too. Like I saw your video where you made the video about
the so-called Indian guy.
Yeah, the one that complained about you, talking about the guy that was complaining about some South African, uh, uh, um, having
Oh,
the
yeah,
news
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah, him. He even, yeah, he's one of the sensitive people. He went on his community thing and posted my picture and tried to make fun of my looks too,
Yeah.
because I put a raccoon picture with his picture.
Hold on,
He's one
let me
of the
respond here.
sensitives too.
Let me respond here. Audrey said they probably hate Nigerians from their jail cells. Audrey, honestly, to be quite honest, like, I don't know that. I think I've only seen one Nigerian throughout my time that was locked up. For some reason, the state I'm in, they really don't get locked up here. To be quite honest. But you would see a lot of Somalis, to be honest, because they want to be gangsters. Somalis, or every now and again, you see Ethiopian, once in a while. But generally, when you see the African, they are generally Somalis. And you also made I forgot to talk about another Panderer. I should have put her up there, but she's not Nigerian. She's from your country, Dr. Mumbi.
Yeah, she's embarrassing.
Dr. Mumbi is the worst, for real. Is the worst amongst all of them. She is not only a panderer, she's a real hustler, and also she's a conspiracy theorist. So what are you guys going to do about them? About Dr. Mumbi? She's putting the Kenya on the map for this one.
I mean, I don't even know how the people who watch her, the Black Americans who watch her, can't see the pretending that she puts on.
Well, when it comes to Black America, majority of the time, as long as whatever you say white people are bad,
And that America is gonna fall.
America is gonna fall. And the Black people that get excited for that, it makes me laugh. I'm like, you're American. You do. If America falls, you fall too, right? Like, if America's grace falls off, like, you're not gonna have any more American privilege. It's over. I don't think they get that. Jeme said, Afridamus, you look Nigerian though. I know, I get that a lot. Like, even when I was in Gambia growing up, many people, when I moved there, they mistake me for a Nigerian. I mean, like, I have no issues with Nigerians, just some of the stuff that they do. Rokoya is being a pest. Rokoya, if it's boring, just leave and go to the Wakandan channel. You don't have to be here. No one cares about your opinions here. Just leave and go. See, that's another panderer. Do you know who Rokoya is?
No.
Yeah. She's a professional panelist at the Wakandan channel.
Oh, that Haitian woman?
The Haitian woman who thinks she's Black American and she speaks on behalf of Black Americans. It's like, come on, people. Like, can you at least let the Blacks catch a break? Like, we have all these people speaking on behalf of Black people, but because they say sweet things, Black Americans don't say anything. Absolutely nothing. As long as they say sweet things, every now and again they throw in white supremacy. You know who really mastered this? The guy called Franklin. The guy would be talking about Nigerian problem, and then boom, all of a sudden he turns it into Black stuff. Turn it into Black stuff and say, oh, we Black people. I was like, oh boy, come on, come on, dude. We all know there's a difference between Nigerians and black people. But you see, black people in America, sometimes I don't know what's going on. It's like they just allow anyone to say whatever, as long as they throw in, talking about, white people. But they don't understand, like, this is tarnishing, further tarnishing their image.
Yep.
Because now you have African panderers who who really don't believe in these things. I hope you guys know this. They don't care about it.
Yep.
They don't believe in the things you believe in. I mean,
Like
Dr.
the
Mumbi
America's Gonna
exhibits
Fall
it.
stuff.
The what?
Yeah, like the spiritual Dr. Moonby channel. Whoever, if you really think she believes in that stuff, I don't know what to tell you.
No, for real. I mean, it truly blows my mind. And a lot of black people that watch me, I think over time, they are going to see exactly what I'm saying. Like, just kick back, listen to these people talk. Like, ask yourself, be like, okay, wait a minute. Why is some woman in Kenya, all the way in Kenya, trying to tell you about white supremacy? And she's praying for America to fall. She's
And at the
telling you
same
that.
and at the same time telling you to hurry up and move to Africa, and at the same time telling you to go purchase a plan that can help you navigate in Africa.
It blows my mind, because I don't think blacks in America really know what they have. I think the red flag should go off, and they should be like, okay, even though we do all these messed up things here, why are all these people trying to cater to our feelings? That's what they should be asking. Why are they catering to our feelings? Because you have something that you are underestimating. But they know what you have. If you don't know how to put it to use, they will show you how to put it to use. And that's exactly what they are doing. I'm not your enemy. We're not here to, go against you, but to open your eyes to the realities of what is going on. Did you guys remember, I don't know if some of you saw that episode where Franklin brought some quote unquote spiritual Nigerian guy. He's supposed to be a voodoo priest. And I watched the whole thing. Another Nigerian guy, the guy came there and said some sweet things, and people are writing in the chat, and they called it African spirituality, because now all of a sudden, mind you, so now all Africans used to be the same religion. Did you know this?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, I'm being funny. This is the things they are selling. So because if you say Africa, Africa, in the person's head who's not from Africa, especially if they live in America, their idea of Africa is from movies and stuff like that. It makes it seem like it's like this small place where everybody did the same thing, but they don't even understand. Like the place where I come from, my country is located closer to New York. I'm closer to New York than I am to Kenya. Did you know this?
Yep.
But somehow, all Africans are the same. Even Somalis that think of West Africans in general as slaves, or Kenyans, Black Africans as slaves. So now, I should take your word, someone else's word, to say, oh, the white man is bad. But here's another group of people you're calling, oh, my brothers and sisters, we're all one, but they think you're a slave. How you see what I'm saying? How do
Yep.
you even put that together? But when you point it out, oh, Afridamus, you are the hater. Hey, DMF, welcome to the show. It's been a while. You see, all of a sudden now you are the hater. But these are the things they leave behind. But long story short, this, spiritual guy, African spirituality, they call him Baba Yoba, some Nigerian name.
Yep, and now spirituality in Africa is just one.
Yeah, the spirituality in Africa is just one. The people in Ethiopia and the people in Gambia, they all believe in the same thing, the same people. Or the people in Kenya and the people in even Sudan closer, they believe in the same thing. This is what they are selling, and people are buying it. So they brought this African priest, Baba Yoba. I think that's his name. I hope I'm saying it right. And then when I watched it, I said, this man is a fraud. He's a scammer, and I put it in the chat. As usual, they timed me out and kicked me off, And the other day I'm cruising through YouTube. I'm going through the streets of YouTube. Franklin himself, he posted this long message saying, oh, because Baba Yoba's, fraud, his fraudulent behavior came out, and Franklin was trying to distance himself from it. But people did not pay attention to what I'm saying. All they see is, oh, this guy, oh, he's hating. Why would I be hating on some fake African spiritual doctor? Why would I be doing that? I have no time for it. I'm just saying, if you say you are speaking for every Black person, every African, I should be able to come in and give my opinion, right? Just like I'm allowing people to give their opinions here. And it's refreshing to have you, a young man that is, pointing out the stupidity of these people and how fraudulent they are. I get it. Most people, they've already bought into it. And I don't know, maybe they feel good when somebody, is putting down Africans. I mean, that's really wild. Do you remember when they had the Ebola?
Yeah.
Oh, that was wild. So I had a prisoner. This guy's been there for at least 3 years at the time. But the moment there was Ebola, now, I'm standing there because sometimes we run what they call mainline. People come in to get food, right? So he came and I grabbed the tray and I gave it to him. He said he doesn't want the tray. I was like, what? Why don't you want the tray? He said, because I'm African. I might have Ebola. And it was mostly the Black inmates who started, discriminating and trying to segregate me away from. I'm like, you're stupid. Like I said, we've been here together all this time. So because there's Ebola in some country, now all of a sudden I have Ebola because I'm African. But you see, he's not African, according to him. He's Indian. He's one of the Indians. No, this guy is part of he's actually a consistent Indian.
Yep,
this
the
guy,
Apache tribe.
No, I think he's Blackfoot because he's as dark as me. He's a Blackfoot Indian. So that this is why, like, the things that I say, most people, they know this, and they don't understand how ridiculous it sounds until we point it out. When we point it out, now all of a sudden they see how ridiculous it is. But if it's hate, if I were making up things or you were making up stuff, then we'll call it hate. Like the guy that is complaining about that African man in South Africa that made his necktie that looked like a noose.
Yeah, he's not even thinking about Indians. He's just minding his own business in South Africa, selling his ties to other South Africans.
But you see, is that self-centeredness where you think the world just revolves around you. And these people that I showed, someone like Two Niger, Franklin, like Ike, I don't think he's so much like them, but he was completely pandering when he did that
Yep.
video on you. You
I mean,
see?
if he told the truth, like most of his audience are Black Americans, and he might hurt some feelings for some.
Yeah, but this is the thing. That's why you should never build relationships based in lies. Because for me, when you come to my channel here, you know what to expect. You see?
Yep.
You know what to expect. Like, I'm not here to pander to anyone. I'm not here to cater to anyone's feelings. Just like Rokoya cannot take it, she said she has to leave. She has to leave because they want to, tell these people, oh, come to Africa, blah, blah, blah. Okay. If these people really believe in Pan-Africanism, right? How come the Pan-Africanism hand is not extended to their own neighbors? They are
Yep.
Africans too. Don't you think before you come to America and telling Black people about Pan-Africanism, why don't you
Unite the
extend?
tribes and
Yeah. Why don't you unite the tribes first? Because we all know most, I don't know that, but most African countries, yeah, they would now, there's slowly there's unity, whatever. But the truth is, they mostly are loyal to their tribes. You
yep.
see, the loyalty is to the tribes. So you're going to convince Black Americans and pretend that the tribal alliance is not a big deal. That's what you're going to pretend to say, right? And and then bring them into that mess and not think about it. Let's see here. Audrey said Franklin got 101K subscribers. How many does African React or
I
Afridamas? Well,
I mean, I don't
Audrey.
care about subscribers. I'm just
Well,
voicing my opinion.
yeah.
I don't
Well,
depend on YouTube for my income, so I
exactly.
don't care about that. I'm
Well,
just voicing my opinion. Do you see
well,
me in an office all focused on YouTube? I'm not.
well. Audrey also have to remember to get to 101. You gotta go through 500, right?
Yep.
Because Audrey, believe it or not, at one point I only had like what, one subscriber, then one turned into two, three. Now I have a little over 500, and you can fill a jumbo jet with that amount of people. So yeah, Franklin was at 500 at one point. So to think that I'm gonna go to 101 right away, that's a bit silly.
Yep.
That's a bit silly. I mean, yeah, Mimi, the church is growing. The church is growing, slowly. Every time, like Mimi, I said, every time I drop a video, one person gets upset, they leave, and then they get replaced right away. You know, they. Oh, by the way, before I forget, people, this whole month is my birthday month. I forgot to announce that. So whole month of September is the Afridamus birthday month. Oh, she said, oh, he didn't build his channel of criticizing other YouTubers. Well, if that's
I'm
what you
not
think,
criticizing anyone. I'm making reaction videos. If you want to see my reaction, come to Africa Reacts.
yeah. Well. That's another thing. It doesn't matter what that logic doesn't work. Like, hey, I'm not gonna build my channel on scamming people. That's for sure.
Yep.
I'm here to share, my observations, and share the facts to those who, want to, want to get information. So at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. People that really want to hear the information, they would come get the information, because I'm not here, to make my income off of it. She said, this Tone can't get to 10K. Well, he's got like 6K plus. That's close. That's close to 10K. Audrey, you need to stop. I thought you were a good member of the church. It looks like you're trying to join the Jezebelian church. I get it that you don't like that I talked about Nigerians, but I mean, I hope you're not condoning or supporting, these people with their pandering, unless you are down for the pandering too. African React, before we leave, do you have any last words? Because we're a little over 2 hours. I actually was planning to stay less than that.
I don't really have anything else to say. Just thinking about it. Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Okay. Do you what's your next video that we should be expecting to see?
It might be on an Indian.
On an Indian?
Yeah.
Well, tell the people that are watching where to find you.
Yeah, you can just type into YouTube African Reacts and you'll see my channel.
Oh, and before I forgot this, I saw the African witch went to your channel and commented, and I like how you ignored her. I think we should just put her up on the bookshelf and for her to collect the dust there. We
Yep.
don't even want to mention her name. We'll just leave her in the dust and let her collect dust over there. Well, thank you for coming on again, and I'll be looking for your next video.
Yep.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was African React. You guys heard him, you see? You guys heard what he has to say. And for those of you that try to nitpick, about, he said, called the man a gorilla, blah, blah, blah. Get over it. It's not that serious, okay? That doesn't turn him into a gorilla all of a sudden. And look, us Africans, think about it, people. We've been kicking back, taking the beating nonstop. People, like, there is whole channels, literally, their whole stake is to talk bad about Africans. The only two groups of people that I notice that is free game, you can just talk about, is white people and African people without you being labeled a hater. Plain and simple. And this is black people doing this. And then you guys expect us not to say anything. On top of that, we come to see people that are from the same continent as us. Every single time we turn around, they are on these panels, just beating down on Africa. Anytime an African comes and says something about their experience, they run in and, they run interference. And we're seeing this even in real life. But we shouldn't talk about this. This is supposed to be negative. Oh, but when you talk about the African, that is not negative, right? When the African reacts, and the African is reacting in a nicer manner, in a nice way. We're not here hurting people's feelings. We're just speaking facts. We're literally taking videos that these people are making and breaking it apart. Exactly, Bo Diddley. Okay, people, see, you should listen to Bo Diddley. Bo Diddley is truly your typical American individual. He loves America. He's not telling people he's Indian or he is African. Blackfoot, whatever. He's just American. And I notice, you see, like the same hate that Bo Diddley gets, I get the same hate. This is how I know people that keep it real, like him. Do you guys know there are lots of channels? This man cannot get on those channels. They kick him off. Bo, write down, Bo, am I lying? Am I lying? There are lots of channels that Bo Diddley cannot go on. They labeled him a hater because he comes there and asks the tough questions. And he talks about how great America is. That's not with the narrative. This is what I don't understand. You guys, okay, like Ike. Ike is not doing that same thing. You see? He's not doing that exact same thing. But with this video that it raised, my eyebrows. I'm like, come on, man. Ike, I thought you were better than that. Do not try to intellectualize this. But I know Ike is a rational, reasonable man. He will be able to explain this. No, Audrey, both Franklin didn't block me. Oh, Ike. Well, he blocked me from his StreamYard because, if I jump on his StreamYard, his whole hustle would be destroyed. Look, don't get me wrong. The guy, when he's talking about Nigerian issues, he does a great job. He knows his people like the back of his hand. He gives them good advice. Great. But the hustling part, the black thing, that's what I just can't get with. Mimi is laughing. No, Mimi, they did not block your brother. Relax. They blocked me from, no, Ike, look, in fact, we will invite Ike to come here and have the conversation with us. If people want, they can block me in their channels. I have my own channel. I'm here. I'm going to speak on the things that matter. I know Audrey likes to make fun of me. That's fine. You and Mimi, you guys are going to get kicked off the church because you seem to take a lot of pleasure in knowing that I got blocked in these places. But people, on a serious note though, we have to speak the truth. When we speak the truth, it doesn't mean we hate people. It's about facts. And like I said, you, the black person in America, kick back and watch. Ask yourself this. Do you want people who, especially because some of these people have never been to America even. Niger doesn't live in America. He's never been here. Franklin doesn't live in America. I mean, Dr. Mumbi used to live here, but she's not American. You see? We know this. So how can you allow people to convince you that you should want America to be destroyed? Right? Why would you even support that? So the person who's coming telling you, look, be yourself, stop allowing people to play you this way. I'm seeing what is happening. That doesn't mean I hate you. Of course, do what you like, do what you want. But at the end of the day, that's not going to stop me from speaking about these things. And I can assure you, I, as a person that totally understand this, I'm telling you the real truth. Nothing but the truth. Just go back and listen to these people. Take your emotions out of it. Just because the person says white supremacy, you're like, oh, let me go listen to this. Or the person talks about racism. Whether you like it or not, you are here with white people. Okay? White people, they're not going anywhere. You are not going anywhere. So you better learn to get along with white people, because you continue to make it seem like white people are your problem, there are people lurking around, waiting to pounce on your anger. Because you're so angry, you become blind to reality. You guys see how Rukoya came here and get mad. Oh, you don't want, since you don't like the pan-africanist, this is an African woman from an African country. If she so believe in pan-africanism like that, why doesn't she go preach this to the tribes and unite them? Unite them first. Pave the way for you so that the people all can identify and start thinking along, oh, we all black. But that's not how people operate in Africa. And they are not telling you this. They are lying to you. These people are lying so much, I'm going to start calling them the lying kings and queens. This is what they are doing. And to say, because I observe exactly who are the people doing this. That doesn't mean I'm saying it's all Nigerians. Not all, but most. Okay? Because I am yet to find one. I am yet to find one Nigerian to go on these panels that is not there running interference and trying to put Africans down. When you see one, let me know. Let me know. Hey, there's a difference, speaking the truth to try to get people to see it and change, and change their ways. But when you are deliberately buttering people up, looking like you're just setting them up so you can get whatever out of them, now that becomes a problem. When you start putting yourself in the midst of things that you have no idea about, like Niger goes to the Wakandan channel. That woman, she literally, I don't know what's wrong with her. Yeah, she wants to go to Africa and save them, but she's from Haiti, of Haitian descent. I think Haiti needs more help than the place she wants to go save. But no, she wants to go there. And she wants to do it in this weird, aggressive manner. Like nobody is buying into that. And anyone that's not speaking the language that she's speaking, she wants you gone. You look at it. How many people are in this chat here that are against me? How many people are here, that say weird stuff about me? But because I respect freedom of speech, I want you to be able to express yourself. Because if I don't allow you to express yourself, and I can just sit here and talk, that would be hypocritical. So this is why I allow people to express themselves. Even Johanna, who's not making sense, I still allow him to express himself. But just go to any of these channels and see. They're not going to allow you to express yourself. Like Rokoya, who's an agent from the Wakandan channel. If I were in the Wakandan channel right now and writing the things that she wrote, guess what? She herself would recommend to the Wakandan queen for me to get blocked. I've seen them do it. I've seen them block people for way less than what she said here. But I'm a fair person. Freedom of speech is what's allowed. As long as you're not here threatening people or going off the hinges, we're good. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I gotta say for now. I hope you have a wonderful memorial weekend, and I sure will. But I will be back tomorrow. We have another show here. Make sure you don't miss it. I'll actually do that show a little bit earlier so that our UK people can join us as well, because it's late for them over there. Thank you and welcome. Thank you for coming to the Afridamos Report. Like and subscribe to the channel. I always tell you guys, don't treat me like a side piece. Like the channel. Don't pretend like you don't like me. You're here all the time. Like and share. Thank you.
Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, telling you, yeah, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, go to the roots. Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!